The orbital defense grid around Earth flickered and died, one station after another succumbing to the relentless Krell assault. Admiral Chen watched from the bridge of the Defiant, her knuckles white against the tactical display. 48 hours. That's how long humanity had been fighting a losing battle against an enemy that had conquered 17 star systems in less than a decade. "Ma'am, we've lost the Luna batteries," Lieutenant Morrison reported, his voice tight. "The Krell dreadnoughts are breaking through Sector 7. Chen closed her eyes briefly. 50,000 souls on those stations. Gone. The Krell didn't take prisoners, they harvested worlds, strip mining them of resources before moving to the next target. Earth was supposed to be different. Humanity was supposed to stand. But they were losing. "All ships fall back to defensive perimeter Delta," Chen ordered. "We make our last stand at..." "Admiral!" Morrison's voice cracked with urgency. "Unknown contact. Massive energy signature decloaking at bearing 270. Distance 50,000 kilometers. Every screen on the bridge lit up simultaneously. Where empty space had been moments before, a vessel materialized. Sleek, angular, and utterly alien. It dwarfed even the Krell dreadnoughts, its hull a strange composite of what looked like living metal, pulsing with bioluminescent veins of blue and gold. "F," Chen demanded. "None, ma'am. It's not broadcasting on any known frequency." "Wait." Morrison's fingers flew across his console. It's transmitting directly to us. Audio only. In English." A voice filled the bridge, deep and resonant, with an accent that seemed to blend every human language into something both familiar and utterly foreign. "Earth vessel Defiant. We are the Remembrance. We have come to honor an old debt." Chen's mind raced. What debt? Humanity had never made first contact before the Krell arrived 6 months ago. "This is Admiral Chen of the United Earth Defense Fleet. Identify yourself." "What debt?" 23,000 years ago, your ancestors showed mercy to refugees fleeing the first Krell expansion. They were not yet spacefaring. They could barely understand what fell from their sky. But when our ancestors' generation ship crashed on your world, broken and dying, your people did not fear us. They helped us. They mourned with us. They gave us shelter until we could repair our vessel and continue our journey." The bridge fell silent. 23,000 years. Before recorded history. Before civilization as they knew it. "You were there," Chen whispered. "On Earth in prehistory." "We have never forgotten," the voice continued. "We rebuilt. We survived. We thrived. And we made a vow. If ever your world faced extinction, we would return. Today we fulfill that promise." The Remembrance began to move, accelerating past the human fleet with impossible grace. Its weapon systems came online. Not the crude plasma cannons or missile banks humanity relied on, but something else entirely. Reality itself seemed to bend around the ship's hull as exotic energy built up in massive arrays along its flanks. "All human vessels, maintain your defensive positions," the voice commanded. "What comes next may be difficult to witness." The Krell dreadnoughts opened fire on the Remembrance, a devastating barrage that would have vaporized any human ship. The energy blasts simply dissipated against an invisible barrier, dispersing like water against stone. Then the Remembrance fired back. What happened next would be debated by physicists for generations. The alien ship didn't simply destroy the Krell vessels, it unmade them. Beams of writhing golden light touched each dreadnought, and they began to disintegrate at the molecular level, their atoms scattering into the void like dust in a cosmic wind. No explosions, no debris, just absence. In less than 3 minutes, the Krell armada that had brought humanity to its knees was gone. Chen found herself gripping her command chair, trying to process what she'd just witnessed. How is this possible?" "We had 23,000 years to prepare," the voice answered. 23,000 years to ensure we could keep our promise. The Krell have plagued this galaxy long enough. Today their expansion ends. But why? Chen asked, her voice hoarse. Why risk everything for us? That was one generation ship. You could have forgotten. You could have moved on. A pause. When the voice spoke again, there was something that sounded almost like a smile in its tone. Because your ancestors taught us something we had forgotten in our flight across the stars. They taught us that mercy is not weakness, that compassion for strangers is not foolishness. In our darkest hour, humanity, who had nothing, who understood nothing of the cosmos, gave us everything. You showed us what it means to be truly civilized. The Remembrance began to move away from Earth, its task complete. We will hunt the remaining Krell fleets. This galaxy will know peace again. But Admiral Chen, remember this. The gift your ancestors gave us was not shelter or food. It was hope. And hope, we have learned, is the most powerful force in the universe. Wait, Chen called out. Will we see you again? Perhaps in time. For now, rebuild, thrive. And if you encounter refugees fleeing across the stars, remember what your ancestors knew, that the measure of a civilization is not in its weapons or its wealth, but in how it treats those who have nothing. The Remembrance shimmered and vanished, cloaking once more, leaving behind a humanity that had been saved by an act of kindness so old, it had been forgotten by history itself. Admiral Chen stared at the empty space where the alien vessel had been, tears streaming down her face. Humanity had been saved not by their weapons, their technology, or their strategy. They had been saved by their compassion, and that, she realized, was the most human thing of all. End.